All right, so here's the sum and difference notes. Now, these problems are cool, right? All the identities are super cool, but you do not have to memorize these, all right? These are just cool, just keep them handy in case you need to use them, but this is not something that you have to memorize. So your cosine, sine, and tangent, sum and difference. So I have it written out here where the plus sign, so I have a plus b is cosine a, cosine b minus sine a, sine b. If I have cosine a minus b, then I have cosine a, cosine b plus sine a, sine b, right? The sign on top goes with the sign on top. The sign on bottom goes with the sign on bottom. So like this is cosine a plus b. You do the minus sign there. They're both cosine, cosine, sine, sine. But it just depends on how that is. Same thing with sine. Sine a goes with positive goes with positive, negative goes with negative. I still have opposites here, sine A, cosine B. Then I switch them over. Where sine was with the A here, cosine is now with the A. Where cosine was with the B, sine is now with the B. All right? So you're just swapping them up. Same thing that's happening here. And sine is the same signs that go with there. Cosine are opposite signs. Tangents both. Same on top, opposite on the bottom. All right? So you don't have to have those memorized. They're just a handy tool whenever you go through and you're working them out. So that is what's going to happen here. So like here in example 2, I want to write a trig function in terms of theta. Well, I have cosine of 180 minus theta. So, let me take this back down here. Here's a minus. So I know cosine is minus, then my formula is going to be plus. Where because this is minus, so cosine for both of them plus the sine of both of them. So cosine 180, cosine theta. Sine 180, sine theta. Then you literally just simplify that. That's all there is. All right, the cosine of 180 is negative 1 because that's pi, right? All right, so I've got negative cosine. The sine of 180 is 0, so 0 times anything is 0, and you just end up with negative cosine. It's literally that easy. The biggest deal on this one is just to have these handwritten down so that you have them handy whenever you do this type of deal. So this one with the sum and difference, it's cool to do the sum and difference, but you're not going to have to memorize these. It's just good to know. All right? It's just good to have the experience with them. Let me say that. Sine here, let's do a sine where I'm adding. That means I'm adding where you've got sine A, cosine B. It's the opposites of them, right? And then cosine sine, you go cosine with A and sine with B. So the sine of 30 is going to be this 1/2. And then I've got cosine theta. Then the cosine of 30 here. Oh, dang it. The cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2 times the sine. Now, there's nothing you could do here. You could write this all over 2 and have the cosine plus the square root of 3 sine if you wanted to. I don't see the point of that, but you are welcome to do it if it makes you feel better. How about that? All right. Otherwise, we're good. Then I have tangent of subtraction with tangent. So you go back to the formulas. It's the same on top and then the opposite on the bottom. So I have tangent of 45, which is the first, minus the tangent of the second one, over 1 plus tangent times tangent. So tangent of 45 times tangent theta. Well, I know the tangent of 45 here is going to be 1 because it's sine over cosine and they're the same value. So I now have 1 minus tangent of 1 plus 1 times tangent is tangent. Now my question to you is, can I cancel out these tangents? No, you cannot. Anything touching that plus or minus is off limits, right? Good. So hopefully, if nothing else, I get that drilled into you. You cannot cancel this. Anything touching a plus or minus is off limits. If it's multiply, yeah, you do that crap all day long. But if it's touching a plus or minus, it's off limits. All right. So basically the moral of this section is literally 1 page of notes. Write these formulas down, keep them handy, and rock the sock.